welcome to another video. I have a massive stack of books behind me. It is tall enough to go off camera. Can I tilt you to just see how tall that... Oh, no, I can't even get you to see how tall that stack is. It's a really big stack of books. I have 51 books to haul today. I don't know how this happened, when this happened, where this happened, but there's a lot of books here. To be fair, this is more than 1 month's collection of books. I've been stacking them up for a while. A lot of them are gifts from you guys. You guys are the absolute best, and you know it. I'm always so grateful for anyone who sends me anything, but you absolutely never have to. In fact, please stop. I don't have room. You're the best, and I love you all dearly. But yeah, it does mean I have a 51 book haul to do today, which means there will be an unhaul coming at some point, because how am I gonna get this on them? How? But yeah, I'm probably gonna try and fly through these really quickly because there's a lot of them. Neither of us have all day. I don't know the ins and outs of them as well, so it'll just be a quick one. This is probably gonna fall over at some point. It's probably gonna topple onto me and crush me, and I will have the ultimate reader's death of crushed by TBR. We're gonna start from the top of the stack, and let's try not to let this fall on me. Success! Book number 1, Rainbow Grey, Eye of the Storm, this beautiful Waterstones edition with the fancy sprayed edge. I picked this one up in Manchester when I was with Steph, Gav and Pris. Rainbow Grey 2. Haven't read it yet, really need to. Love the first one. Beautiful illustrations about Ray Grey, who is a rainbow weatherling. Success! We then have By Ash, Oak and Thorn, which again I picked up in Manchester. This is by Melissa Harrison. I don't know anything about it other than it sounds adorable, and there's these like tiny people. 3 little people no bigger than your hand wake up from their winter sleep in the hollow trunk of an old ash tree. So cute little Thumbelina type vibes, but potentially wintry. Makes me think polar fantasy, but sounds really cute, and I picked that one up. Next one, White Fox by Chen Zhaitong, which is a cute little polar fantasy about a white fox, I think, anyway. An orphaned white fox cub wants more than anything to be human. Trusting in a myth told to him by his mother, he sets out on a quest guided by a magical moonstone. Sounds really cute. Cover is adorable. Polar fantasy, middle grade. I am excited about it. That's all I know about it. Next up, still one I picked up in Manchester, The Ice Bear Miracle. Again, polar fantasy, middle grade. Literally polar bear, ice skating. This is by Kerry Burnell. I don't know anything about this one other than polar fantasy, middle grade. It's quite a diddly one, this one, with cute little illustration stuff. Cute. Ice Bear Miracle, polar fantasy, middle grade. That's all I need to know. Oh, this is scary business. Next up, I have The Bird Singers, again one that I picked up in Manchester. This is about a bird lady. The cover looked creepy, but it gave me interesting vibes. I'm excited about it. Strange things are happening to Leia and her sister, a peculiar whistling in their lonely cottage, a handful of unusual feathers, murmurings of a shadow in the forest, and Mum is acting oddly. Leia's head is full of old myths and fairy tales from her Polish grandma. As she starts to uncover dark secrets, she realises there's a chance these myths might be real. Time is running out to solve the mystery. Polish myth and legend. Nice. I'm excited about this, but yeah, the cover gives me kind of creepy vibes, but I like the look of this one. Next up, I have Bitter by Akwaeke Emezi. This is the sequel to Pet, which I read very early last year, which I really enjoyed, and Bitter is Jam's mother, Jam being the main character from Pet, so I think this is Bitter's story, which is exciting. I enjoyed Pet. It was very much a surprise. I think I read it for the Read It Like Cody video. It was one that I wouldn't have picked up by myself, I don't think, but I did end up really enjoying. So looking forward to reading the sequel to that one. Next up, I picked up The Last Firefox by Lee Newberry. It's bright orange. That's it, really. It's just bright orange, but also gave me Pokemon vibes with this, like, Fennekin type creature being this little firefox. You need to be brave for yourself before you can be brave for other people. Between bullies at school and changes at home, Charlie finds life a bit scary, but when he's made guardian of a furry fox cub, things get a whole lot scarier. Cadno isn't just any fox, he's a firefox, the only one of his kind, and a sinister hunter from another world is hot on his trail. Also, he has to, like, guard this firefox. Cute, adorable, and very much gives me Pokemon vibes. I'm excited about this. Next up, still whilst I was in Manchester, I bought a lot of books in Manchester, but I have The Thief Who Sang Storms by Sophie Anderson. Obviously, whilst I was up in Manchester, we went to go and see The House with Chicken Legs and meet Sophie Anderson, so it is signed and personalised. But I love Sophie Anderson, I love her books, and I'm excited to get to her most recent one. Honestly amazed I haven't read this already, but I will get to it sometime soon, I promise. I'm very excited. Next up, I have Pokemon Journeys, because I'm in a massive Pokemon phase of my life, and I've never read any Pokemon. So I picked up Pokemon Journeys Volume 1. This is a manga. But there are so many different versions of the Pokemon manga, I wasn't really sure where to start. But I have also picked up Pokemon Adventures X and Y Volume 1. But the Adventures, there are many different volumes from many different, like, generations of Pokemon. I don't know where to start, but I love Pokemon in all forms. I'll start anywhere. I'll read in the middle of a series if I must. I really like Pokemon, and I need to read some of it and watch more of it and play more of it. And just live my best Pokemon life, okay? I'm excited. Leave me be. Next up, I have Venice Underground by Jeff Vandermeer. Jeff Vandermeer is one of my favourite writers, but I've only read his Southern Reach trilogy, but I love his Southern Reach trilogy so very much, and I am scared to death of reading anything else by him in case I don't love it quite as much. But I've decided I need to get over that, really, so I'm gonna read some more Jeff Vandermeer at some point, so I picked up Venice Underground and City of Saints and Mad Men. This one is so floppy. Just feel the flop. But this one is floppy as well, but it's a lot smaller, so... Do I know anything about either of these books? Absolutely not, other than they're written by Jeff Vandermeer. We'll take it from there. Oh, you can just about see where I'm at now. But next up, I have The Shadow Glass by Josh Winning. This I picked up because it is one of the books for the book_club.jpegs club, which me, Pris, Gavin and Steph are hosting in our Patreons. We're like comboing up for a bi-monthly book club. I'm very excited about it. If you are interested in my Patreon, the link is down below. It is for my furniture upwards tiers, or if you're part of Gavin's or Pris's or Steph's Patreon, it's open to their specific tiers as well. But yeah, it's part of that book club, so I needed to get my mitts on it. Gavin has definitely hyped this one up. It's about a man who is like haunted by his father's failures of like a creepy puppet show. Apparently very Labyrinth meets Dark Crystal sort of vibes. I'm excited about it, but it also sounds terrifying. Next up, I have Bad Gods, which I've heard nothing about. I know absolutely nothing about, but the cover absolutely screamed at me in Waterstones, again in Manchester, and it's about a brothel. It's about a woman who runs a brothel and there are missing people, and it just screams wild time to me. So I'm really excited about it. The review on the front is a pacey fantasy romp. All tastes, all species, all currencies. I'm excited about this. I don't know what to expect, but I'm very excited about this one. And the last book I picked up in Manchester is Jungle Nama by Amitav Ghosh, and this is told in verse, but this is about like the vengeful tiger spirits and a merchant who wants to like take over the jungle land, I believe. Tigers know the smell of greed, and all men are quickly drawn into a deadly web of illusion, temptation, and sacrifice. I've not heard anything about this, but again, it just kind of screamed out at me from the shelf, and I think it could be a good little read. So looking forward to getting to this one at some point. Okay, then we move into books that I didn't purchase in Manchester, basically. Next up, I think we're safe from it falling over now, but next up we have Alice's Adventures in Wonderland that came in an Al Crate Jr. Do I need another edition of this? We then have An Arrow to the Moon by Emily X. R. Pan, which came in a fairy loot box. I know nothing about this, but damn, look at those edges. And then I have The Mirrorwood, which was the Al Crate Jr. book from the recent unboxing that I did. I don't know a whole lot about this, other than the little passage I can see on the back, which says, "I was wearing my sister's face on the night the hunters came to our cottage," which sounds really interesting. I'm intrigued by this one. Then I have Blood Sign by Deborah Fillet. This is a beautiful fairy loot edition, but I'm just not interested in this book. But the naked hardback, it's just so pretty. I just wish that I was interested in this one, but I don't know, I'm just not. Maybe I'll give it a go, I don't know, but a recent fairy loot book. And another recent fairy loot book that I am interested in is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie O, mainly because this is illustrated by Carl James Mountford. Those edges are beautiful, the cover is beautiful, and the naked hardback is gorgeous, as fairy loot books always are, to be honest. But yeah, mainly I had my eye on this one for a little while because it's illustrated by Carl James Mountford, and that is how you grab my interest. And then the final book box book is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake, which is the adult fairy loot book, which I'm iffy about. I need persuasion on this one. I need people to tell me how great it is and excite me about this one. Because when I unboxed it, I said it, and I'll say it again now, I was a little bit disappointed that the first fairy loot adult book is one that I'm not massively excited about, but I want to give it a go anyway, but I just need some hype. So help me with the hype, please. Next up is a book I stole, which is I, Cosmo, but I stole it from Steph. It was stealing with permission. She was unhauling it, and I was under the impression that this was like a really heartbreaking story about a dog, because any stories about dogs normally are, but apparently it's not, and it's just a fun story about a dog, and I love dogs, so I'm willing to give it a go. Next up, I have an ARC that was gifted to me. This is From Dust Aflame by Rebecca Podos. I have read one thing from Rebecca Podos before, which is The Wise and the Wicked, which I ended up really enjoying, so I would like to read something else from her, and I now have my hands on this, but again, I'm not sure if like the vibes are right for me. I don't know. This is about a woman called Hannah. Her mother has kept her and her brother on the road for as long as she can remember, leaving a trail of rental homes and faded relationships behind them. All of that changes on Hannah's 17th birthday when she wakes up transformed, a pair of golden eyes with knife-slit pupils blinking back at her from the mirror. The first of many such possible mutations. Could be good, could be good. I enjoyed her other book, so we'll see. Next up, I have Gallant by Victoria Schwab. This is my regular edition. I do also have the signed Waterstones special edition, but I have lent that one out to my mum, who should be reading it, I think. So I have my standard edition here as well. I've read this one. I love this one. This was everything I wanted it to be, everything I needed it to be from Victoria Schwab. I didn't love Addie as much as everyone else did, I don't think, but this made me fall straight back in love with Victoria Schwab. Not that that was ever really in doubt, but it was everything I needed and wanted this to be. Hauntingly beautiful. I loved it. So yes, I need 2 editions. Next up, I have The Strange Worlds Travel Agency, The Secrets of the Storm Forest by L.D. Lipinski. This is the third book in the Strange Worlds series. I haven't read the second one yet, but I had this one on pre-order and it arrived. Strange Worlds is about a young girl who moves to a new village, finds a very rundown travel agency with a wall of suitcases, and these suitcases all contain portals into other magical worlds. She works out that she can see magic, and she can see how magic is spilling, and has to work out how to fix this before it rips the worlds apart. The first one was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I just need to continue the series, really, so here we are. Next up, I have one that is not my normal cup of tea in the slightest, but we have The X-Hex by Erin Sterling. I picked this one up for £3. It was a bargain, and I've seen so many people raving about it, and I read a romance this year and didn't hate it, right? So maybe I should do that again, and perhaps something with a sprinkle of witchiness in it could be a good opportunity for me to read another one. We'll see. It was a bargain either way, so it is what it is. Next up, I have a very recent purchase that still has a receipt in it of Frankie Best Hates Quests. This was picked by Jake. I was in Waterstones and Jake said, "I'm picking the book you buy," and this is the one he pointed out. And I hadn't heard of it, I didn't know anything about it, but the more I looked into it, the more cute it sounded and good fun. So it seems very roleplay game sort of vibes, but with a main character who hates quests. Frankie Best is not happy. She's stuck at Grandad's with her annoying nerdy brother Joel for a whole week whilst her parents swan off to the Arctic. Things take a turn for the worse when Grandad gets kidnapped by gnoblins. No, that is not spelled incorrectly, forcing Frankie to embark on a rescue mission across a magical realm filled with strange creatures, dangerous enemies, and worst of all, no Wi-Fi. I think this sounds really fun. And another one that I picked up on that same shopping trip is Wilder the Midnight by Kerry Burnell. I have another Kerry Burnell book in here, right? Yes! This is the same author of The Ice Bear Miracle. I've just put that together. This is a signed copy. There it is, with its little book plate in there. Look at those end papers. Love it. Silverthorn is a kingdom of long-kept secrets, a castle of locked doors and hushed whispers, a village trapped between terrors, known and unknown, a forest of trees and tangled thorns, and something is in the air, stirring up the leaves. It looks magical. It looks a little bit spooky. I don't know. Locked in a tower, lost in the woods, left to the wolves. Oh, so it's it sounds almost like fairy tale retelling sort of vibes as well. Locked in a tower, Rapunzel, lost in the woods, I don't know, left to the wolves, Red Riding Hood, you know? It sounded really cute. I like the vibes, and the illustration is gorgeous as well on that cover. Very excited. Next up, I have a German edition of Death Note. Thanks, Jess, for this gifted one. She accidentally gifted me this in German and has told me that I am a-okay to donate this one on, so it won't be staying in my library for very long because I can't read German. However, she did also gift me The Promised Neverland as well, which is one of her favourite mangas. She has been saying I should read it, so she's physically given me a copy. So I don't have any excuse. I don't know anything about it, but I have heard lots of love for it, but I don't know what it's about in the slightest, so we'll find out when I read it. Next up, I have Wrath and Mercy by Jessica Rubinkowski. This is the sequel to The Bright and the Pale, which I read for Polathon. I didn't pre-order this, but it arrived at my doorstep with no gift note, and I don't know who did this, so if it was you, make yourself known, because I don't know who did this, but yeah, Polar Fantasy sequel. Exciting! Next up is a gift from Amanda. Thank you, Amanda, for Of Blood and Fire by Ryan Cahill. This one, basically, I saw Cassidy reading, and I'm pretty sure Cassidy was liking it. I threw it on my wish list. Here we are. It's self-published. I don't read enough self-published fantasy, so I am definitely on the lookout for more highly rated adult fantasy self-published books. and I've heard some good things about this one. Do I know what it's about? No. Do I care? Also no. We'll see if I like it. Similar situation with Illborn by Daniel T. Jackson, which was gifted to me by Kathleen. Thank you very much, Kathleen, who is on a mission to only gift me 5-star reads. We'll see. This one is a chunker, but it is a similar situation of adult fantasy, self-pubbed. I saw Cass read it. I don't know if Cass liked this one, but we'll see if I do. But yeah, another self-pubbed adult fantasy. So fingers crossed I like it. And thank you, Kathleen, for this one. Next up, a gift from Emma. Thank you, Emma, is Unconquerable Sun, which is a political sci-fi. Basically, the last political sci-fi I tried, I had very little luck with, so Emma is on a mission to find me a political sci-fi that I will enjoy, and this is her attempt. This is by Kate Elliott. I don't know anything else about it, but I'll probably go into it with very little expectations because I don't want to scare myself. I'm not going to look any more into this one. Thank you very much, Emma. Next up, a gift from William. Thank you so much, William, is Furies of Calderon, which is the first book in the Codex Alira series, which I've heard so many good things about from so many people. And honestly, I think William's just tired of recommending it to me and was like, you know what, just have a copy, read it. But yeah, I've heard fantastic things about it, so fingers crossed I like it as much as other people do. But yeah, also, this is a mass market paperback. It's like weirdly tiny. These aren't a common thing in the UK. But it's weirdly tiny. Next up, gifted from Cece, thank you very much, Cece, is The Swordsman's Lament, The Royal Champion, Book 1, self-published, adult, fantasy. Here we go. It's teeny tiny. Again, Cassidy has read this one and enjoyed this one a lot. That's where I got this recommendation from. Also, just the cover, the title, it gives me Sebastian de Castell vibes. I don't know how wrong that is, could be way off. But just the cover, the title, the like swordsman thing gives me Seb vibes. So, we'll see. Next up, also from CC because the girl never stops, is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry. Apparently, high fantasy, low stakes is the vibe of this one. High fantasy with a double shot of self-reinvention. Worn out after decades of packing steel and raising hell, Viv, the orc barbarian, cashes out of the warrior's life with one final score. A forgotten legend, a fabled artifact, and an unreasonable amount of hope led her to the streets of Thurn, where she plans to open the first coffee shop the city has ever seen. High fantasy, low stakes. Coffee shop. Sounds cute. I'm excited about this one. Sounds great. Next up, I have Goldie Vance, The Hotel Whodunit. This one was also a gift from Amanda because Amanda never stops. But this is a novelized version of a Goldie Vance story. I have finished the Goldie Vance comics. We don't talk about Volume 5, but Volumes 1 to 4 were very good, and I'm interested to see if the, like, novelized version is any good as well. There is some little, like, comic-y bits in here as well, which is cute. Goldie Vance is about a girl called Goldie Vance who works as a valet in a hotel, but also likes to solve mysteries, and the mysteries in this hotel, like, they're not small. They're substantial mysteries. Next up, gifted to me by Stacey, thank you very much Stacey, is Starfell 4, Willow Moss and the Magic Thief. I have not yet read Starfell 3, but I loved Starfell 1 and 2, so book 4, no-brainer. I think I'm gonna love this one just as much, and hopefully I'll get to it sometime soon, because I really did enjoy the first two a whole heckin' lot, and they're really quick reads as well, because of the way that they're formatted, and there's like all the I say all the illustrations and then can't find any, but like the way they're formatted just makes them really quick reads, and I enjoy them a lot. About a young girl called Willow Moss who originally thinks that her magical power of finding lost things is kind of useless, turns out it's not as useless as she thought. Next up, also gifted to me by Cece, because Cece never stops, is Wilderlaw, The Accidental Apprentice by Amanda Foodie. Basically, this was pitched to me as Pokemon. And that's all we need to know. We are getting through this stack. Next up, gifted to me by Fran. Thank you so much, Fran. We have Fledgling by Lucy Hope. I don't know anything about this one. The owls are another sign. It's just that Cassie Engel doesn't know what it all means, and she doesn't have long to find out because grim forces are gathering and she's right in their path. Oh, that still doesn't tell me a whole lot about this, but we'll see. Thanks, Fran. And Fran also gifted me a signed copy of Adam 2. She knows I'm an Alistair Chisholm fan, and I don't have a signed copy of this one. Well, I do now. I haven't yet read this. I really need to. I'm slacking, but I really liked Orion Lost by Alistair Chisholm. I think I'm really going to enjoy this as well. I just need to get my butt in gear and read it. Next up, also gifted to me by Jess. Thank you again, Jess, for this one. But we have the brick that is The Desert Prince by Peter V. Brett. I don't know anything about this book, but Jess was like, it's really good. You should read it. Jess doesn't sound like that, but Jess said I should read it. So here it is. I should probably read it. But yeah, I don't know anything about it. They grew up in the shadow of heroes. Now it's their time to fight the darkness. Ooh. 15 years have passed since the demons were destroyed. Heroes have become legend, and those that remain live in their shadows. That sounds promising from that little bit of information that I now know. So, thanks, Jess. And then we get on to some graphic novels that I haven't hauled, but I think I've mentioned in videos, so I'll try and fly through these. We have City of Dragons, about a young girl who hatches a dragon egg and awakens dragons. Sounds super duper cute. We have Scales and Scoundrels Volume 2. I've definitely spoken about this before. Really enjoyed Volume 1. Dragons, Adventure, Dragon Horde. Good time. Next up, we have The Girl from the Sea by Molly Knox Ostertag. I have read something from Molly Knox Ostertag before, but I can't recall what it is off the top of my head. But I've had this one for a while now. It was one of the first ones that were put into this haul pile that I've just not got around to hauling until now, so I'm eager to read this one. It's been in my library for a decent period of time. Next up, I have The Sad Ghost Club 2. I liked the first one. It was cute. It was fluffy. I enjoyed it. Here's the sequel. I need to get to it. Next up, I have The Dire Days of Willow Weep Manor. Pretty sure I've mentioned this in a video at some point recently as well. This is about a young girl who is obsessed with gothic romance novels and pretty much finds herself in one. Next up, we have Jalea. I need to learn how to pronounce this, but this is a West African inspired fantasy graphic novel. I don't know too much about it, but it sounded like great fun being inspired by West African folklore. There's a prince, there's a wizard, there's an adventure, and fearsome power that could be used to destroy the world. Next up, I have Invisible Kingdom Volume 3. I think this is the last one. I think Invisible Kingdom only has 3 volumes. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if that is the case, I just need to binge these. But yeah, Invisible Kingdom is like Amazon versus the church. There is a religion and this big corporation that are involved in this conspiracy against each other, and our main characters uncover some facts that they should not have and get themselves in a situation. And then finally, last one on here was a gift from Emmy. Thank you very much, Emmy, for Shark Summer, which is a middle grade Jaws inspired graphic novel. I'm excited to see what this is all about because I really don't know, but it comes recommended, so I look forward to it. And there we have it. My throat is now incredibly dry. I've been talking for way too long, and I don't know how I'm gonna fit any of these on my bookshelf. Thank you ever so much for watching. Thank you to anyone who gifted me anything from this haul. You're all the absolute best. As I've said, you absolutely never have to do that. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed my very quick babble about these books. I know I didn't go into a whole lot of detail because there were so many of them, but I hope you've enjoyed anyway. If there's any here that you have read and you would like to particularly push me to read soon, let me know. But otherwise, thanks for watching. I hope you're having a good day, and I will see you in whatever comes next. Bye!